So, once being drafted to the Dallas Mavericks, for the first weeks, Cooper Flagg looked talented. He looked competitive, almost like someone trying to live up to something bigger than himself though. But over the last 8 games, things have started shifting. He doesn't look rushed or out of place as before, as he's starting to look like someone who finally knows exactly where they belong. To set the stage, when a player like Cooper Flagg steps on the floor, the expectations don't wait. Everybody will immediately place these high marks that he needs to reach, so every possession gets watched differently. Normally, rookies have a lot of time to showcase themselves, but with a trade that sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers, making Flagg the next face of this team, everything is heightened to another level. Every miss feels louder. Every mistake or good thing that happens feels like proof to someone that you're either ahead of schedule or behind it. And early on, you could feel that weight in his game. And not because he wasn't skilled, but because he was trying to make an impression on every single touch. The reads were there, the effort was there, but the game was moving just a little too fast, which is normal for a rookie, so that's not a red flag, it's more of an adjustment period. But if we go back to what I stated earlier, over the last 8 games, something has shifted. Across that stretch, Cooper Flagg is averaging just over 24 points a night, along with 4.5 assists, 6 rebounds, and only about 2 turnovers per game, all while shooting nearly 54% from the field. To some people, those numbers are everything, but over here at Hoop Mastery, we all know the numbers don't tell the full story. The way he's getting the buckets though, that's what really gives us a measure of his skill, because now instead of reacting to things being thrown at him, he's understanding how to dictate the game. This molding of Cooper Flagg isn't necessarily loud and it isn't flashy. When you watch him, you can see he's more calm and collected on the floor, and when the game starts to slow down for a player who has a ton of upside, this is when everything starts to line up. I'm talking about cleaner reads, decisions on the floor happening a lot quicker, and the pressure that you feel as a rookie that would normally sit heavy on your shoulders, well, it starts to fade away once you can read the game at the speed you like. His poise now opposed to earlier on in the season is something you instantly notice. When catching the ball on the swing here, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3 defenders around him that could stop him from scoring. But here's the thing, Flagg isn't looking to score right away, as he's looking towards Anthony Davis to see if he's going to be available on the cut. Just by waiting that split second to see what happens, this now forces Ware to run back to AD due to a pass possibly going to him. Flagg's defender is now in the air since he fell for the bait, and for the help defender, well, he has to choose between guarding the corner or helping on Flagg. So once that angle opens up for Cooper to attack, the help defender is too late to cut him off, and here comes the and one.
Another attack by Cooper, that one's in with a foul.
Things like that matter, and I'm talking about that extra half second in action. You'll again see him stay put while watching to see what Thompson does on this possession, and since Amin doesn't stay in this gap and instead takes a step out towards his man, that's exactly when you see Cooper make his move as well, since the gap in the defense is now opened up for him to go score. If you ask me, it's nice to see that a rookie is already starting to see when to pick and choose to make his move, and this involves his passing as well. Such as when coming off this pick and roll, Flagg attracts 2 defenders. Now he could try and attack near the baseline to avoid the double to then try and put 2 points on the board, but this is what I mean by understanding when to attack and when not to. Because although that might be a solid option, Cooper instead decides to spin away from the double, which relieves that pressure, and now with the defense lost on the recovery, Flagg can dime this right to the middle for PJ Washington to go finish. All this here shows you that he's comfortable with letting possessions breathe. Early on, you could tell that he felt he needed something to happen immediately within a possession, but that's no longer the case, and it's in the little things that people will tend to miss. Like when flashing middle here, upon catching the ball, Cooper could have went right to the lob over the top to PJ, but just with that split second pause, he spots a perfect angle to use his bounce pass to connect with Washington much better down low. Now I get it, that may seem small to some, but for us basketball lovers, you understand just how important these things are. Being able to stay poised on the floor does wonders for your game overall, and when we shift more into his scoring, it isn't loud by any means, as he does so in such a calm way. Now hold on 1 second, I need y'all all to listen to me. Now the reason I'm saying that is because I finally found what they didn't want us to see, and it's called Polymarket. Let me get on my phone so we can go through it together. This is Polymarket. It's legal in all 50 states, and instead of betting against the house, you're trading a live market. The 76ers are at 76% to beat the Pacers. Now right now, I believe in Philly, and I think they're gonna win this game over them, so I took the trade, and now we just wait. If I wanted to cash out right now, I could. I'm talking about instantly, no lockout, none of those cash out unavailable prompts, and if at any point I feel like this trade isn't going my way, I don't have to sit there and pray into the final buzzer. I can go ahead and just cash out immediately and cut my losses. I believe in the Sixers, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it ride. And guess what? They ended up winning, so it's time for me to go ahead and cash out. Now compare all of that to the other sportsbooks. They make you place and lock in a bet, but over here, we just got trades that we can go in and out of. $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. And the fees, man, the sportsbooks take about $9 on every $100 win. But Polymarket, they charge 1 cent. Now look, $10 free is waiting on you. Just go ahead and download the app and use my code. You don't need a card, no deposit, it's real easy. Once again, you can unlock that $10 through my link below. Stop letting these sportsbooks steal your money and come over here and join the revolution. For someone who averages 18 points per game as a rookie, I won't say the scoring is lackluster whatsoever, but it hasn't necessarily exploded like some might want to say. I would put it as it's settled, and that's a good thing. He's not hunting shots that don't fit his diet anymore. He's meal prepping everything now. Take this play versus the Clippers for an example. The middle of the floor is where Cooper wants to go, but you can't just try and get there without setting your man up first. So Flagg attacks this left side that's congested, only to then snatch Harden with the behind the back, and if you look at Powell, he's repositioned the screen for Flagg to now come off with space to knock down the jumper. Other times when he comes off these screens, he'll probe into the space, making the defense react hard to this when he used the in and out, but it was also he could buy some real estate for the mid-range fade. Yeah, nothing really feels forced as he's just letting the game come to him. When defenders close out hard, it's a simple setup one way to then shift back the other way to get a bucket. If they close out but leave this gap for him to operate, he'll sell an attack baseline by using the jab, which shifts the defender slightly before using that one dribble pull-up going back the other way. And even when he has tight pressure on him, he doesn't get sped up and he doesn't get out of control. He simply just pushes to his desired spot on the floor and rises up with no issue. Take it how you want it, but this here is a level of calm scoring that you don't see from most rookies. I mean, it's almost like keeping it simple may be better than getting saucy on the floor. A basic jab, attack, and bounce into the float just looks easy for him. And trust me, when I say easy, it doesn't mean he just settles for less work on the floor. Because even though Kawhi is playing tough defense, making it hard for Cooper to create any separation, he still stays with it to then finally fake out Kawhi before stepping through for the kiss off the glass.
Oh my goodness. Footwork, and a foul. And patience too.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Just because we've talked about him being calm, patient, and using the basics, doesn't mean he can't get creative when he's on the court. I know he may not have the best handle ever or anything like that, but he's comfortable enough to serve one move just to get the defender off his route, and now he can go score with relative ease. A lot of the time, Cooper will use that behind the back to shed defenders when he feels their momentum going hard one way, and not only does this help him avoid the double, as this also puts Murray in recovery mode as well. But remember what I said, Flagg can get creative on that floor. So right when Murray thinks a mid-range pull-up is about to happen, joke's on him as Cooper attacks right into him to float this in over the top. For the defense, you can try and stop it all you want, but this behind the back is so second nature to him that it'll help him get into the paint whenever he sets his mind to it, and with him already learning the skill to not be extra reckless inside, this is where you see that soft touch on the floater come in handy. Now hold on, listen, don't take this as me saying that Cooper is unguardable or anything like that, because that's certainly not the case, but when he does use that hezzy to then burst into a bump fade, this shows you he's confident. When he attacks the middle to then spin away from the double to knock down that butterball, this shows you he's in rhythm. And when he notices an entire side cleared out for him to go work when coming up the floor, he'll flow directly into a post fade to show you his creation is versatile. This part of his game right here is what I'm most excited to see develop even more, because once the game slows down, creativity doesn't feel forced anymore. It honestly feels natural. Passing windows for him will start to open up more as he can now spot these small openings to thread the needle to set up AD on the break. When he's attacking closeouts, he has the ability to avoid help defenders if needed with his ability to be acrobatic. And when guys start ball watching and lose track of him, here's where he can exploit gaps in the defense to catch lobs to throw it down.
Lob to Flagg. Right on cue. Nimhard with the foul.
This here is what a player coming into his game looks like, and it's important that I say this clearly. The early stages we seen from Flagg weren't a warning sign, they were all a part of the adjustment. I mean, think about it. He has a new role, has to get used to different physicality, and has more defensive attention on him. So all that takes some time to get used to, and oh, you gotta factor in all the pressure he was probably feeling as well. So although early struggles can make some people start to wonder, what matters the most is how a player responds when everything doesn't click immediately, and instead of running from the moment, Cooper just slowed the game down, which is a sign of maturity. This version of Cooper Flagg that we're seeing now feels sustainable. He doesn't rely on hot shooting, fancy crossovers, or highlight plays. He's instead learning how to pick his spots wisely on the floor, use as less moves as possible to get there, and keep the game in a flow that's comfortable to him. So is this the Cooper Flagg breakout and he's elite and he's this and he's that? Not just yet. I think this is the settling stage. And as time progresses, we will start to see even more breakout moments like we see in this game versus Utah. Down in the comments, comment Cooper if you want to see more Dallas Mavericks and Cooper content below, along with one thing you like about his game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload any video. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.